Don't let your kids watch this, please. Be responsible.
I mean, like, I watched the Danganronpa stuff when I was a teenager, and I'm pretty sure I turned out fine.
Well, I mean, that doesn't have graphic violence, but...
I mean,
I don't know, the executions can get pretty violent.
I mean, we haven't gotten to the graphic violence here yet.
Yeah, it's all been, like, off-screen and described through
Yet.
so far.
Yet.
You just gave away your trap card. Also, I think I'm going to plug in my microphone anyway because I feel a bit more secure leaning into the microphone. I kind of like leaning into the microphone.
You know what? That's
nice.
That's valid. Go for it.
So I have to set that up properly. Give me a second.
Okay, so this is a twist for front. Alright, that's what I'm doing.
Blue snowball all the way fucking up, and make sure it's all the way fucking up on the other thing because apparently just likes to do this. I've heard that there's a fix for it, but I will try that out another time. Yeah, apparently there's a fix for my blue snowball being too quiet. I just have to, like, basically make my computer forget it exists.
Weird, okay.
No, not...
Like, weird as in, like, the fix is making your laptop forget your microphone is a thing. But it's interesting. I do hope it works for you.
Yeah. I'll try it out some other time. But until then, here we are.
Okay.
How do I sound? I sound okay?
Yeah, you sound
Great.
Yay.
Like, honestly, the volume dipped a little tiny bit when you turned your microphone in, but I just turned you up on my end, so you sound fine.
Okay.
Okay. Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's fucking go.
Okay.
Oh, it's raining.
Oh yeah, Rita was super fucking creepy the last time.
Yeah, she was standing outside our house just repeating "I'm sorry" over and over again.
Because she tried to get in with her grubby little fingers.
Honestly, I would not be surprised if she caught a cold from that. Like, even if it is summertime, she's still out in the rain for hours.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
she doesn't catch a cold, I'm calling supernatural bullshit.
Yeah.
And also, Keiichi almost snapped her fingers off.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
too. I do remember talking about how, like, despite all of the weird shit going on, I'm all just like Keiichi. I'm also still worried about her safety, just in case there's
Yeah.
weird supernatural shit going on and she's not really fully aware of what she's doing.
Whew.
Morals,
Yep.
ethical ambiguity.
Yay.
Hey.
Anyway. I guess I'd be lying if I said I didn't get any sleep. I tried to stay awake all night, but there were definitely gaps in my memory. I guess I kept nodding off and jerking awake in a panic all night. Spent all night hugging the metal bed and sat on top of the futon I used to barricade my door. Waiting, watching just in case someone tried to break in through my window. If I left this spot, someone would break through the door, sending the futon flying and attack me. But if I stopped watching the window, someone would break through the glass and attack me. I tried telling myself I was just being paranoid, but I couldn't sleep. The thought of being so vulnerable scared the living daylights out of me. If sleep meant taking that risk, I didn't need it. It was so much better to just stay awake. At some point during that endless cycle of nodding off and jolting awake, light began to shine outside. But that was it. It wasn't so much the morning as it was just the sun simply having risen. I snuck a peek out through the curtains. Raina was gone. I couldn't see her anywhere, no matter how hard I looked. Finally, I could breathe a deep sigh of relief. The night was finally over. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tired, but I didn't feel like sleeping at the moment. I still had time. But I needed to make my own breakfast, so I'd better get started soon. Skipping school was also an option. With my mom gone, it'd be easy to play hooky. Honestly, I debated it. The risk involved in leaving my house was incalculable, so staying holed up in here was probably my safest option. But staying here wouldn't solve anything. Oishi-san wouldn't be able to help me without cold, hard evidence. Neither he nor my parents. So, unless I found some sort of proof, these relentless nights would never end. I stretched my body, tilted my head back, and closed my eyes just like I did every morning.
Stretchies?
I regulated my breathing and regained my senses. Calm down, Keiichi Maibara. Let's go to school. Let's wait until they set their trap for me. But that didn't mean I was just going to twiddle my thumbs. I needed to avoid that trap and secure irrefutable evidence. Take note of the plates of any car that drives by. If I see someone suspicious, check their clothes and face. I wasn't just protecting myself. I was preparing myself to turn their attack against them and retaliate. The tension was similar to when two samurai were aiming to slay each other with a single motion as they drew their katanas. I was not at a disadvantage. I would have the chance to retaliate. I finally felt a bit of courage growing in my chest. All right, let's go to school. I tightened my grip on Satoshi's bat. He was the only partner I could count on. Satoshi, please, lend me your strength, and entrust your dying regrets to me, since you were probably murdered. I'll make sure I dispel them.
Squint.
With renewed resolve, I checked the clock. It was still early. Of course, I was going to school by myself today. If I didn't want to run to Reina Mion, I needed to leave now.
Sir, you need to eat something.
Yeah.
Please.
The shattered fragments of the cupboard were still strewn all over the entryway.
Mm.
Right. I meant to clean that up last night, but never got around to it with the phone call and everything. If my parents came back and saw this while I was at school, I would never hear the end of it. Still, I'd be wasting time if I cleaned it up right now. Considering what would happen if I ran into Reina Mion, it wouldn't be too late to clean it up after I got back home. Making extra certain that the doors were locked, I left the house. My uniform was still covered in mud from yesterday, so I left it in the washer. Today I was going to go to school in a tracksuit. By wearing a different outfit this morning, my mind was forced to accept that today was different from yesterday. I had a hunch. Today might be the day I get killed. Keep your guard up, Keiichi Maibara. The only one who gets to decide if today's my last is me.
Or you might decide that for someone else. I mean, what?
I spent the morning practicing my swing like it was my natural routine. After a while, Rain arrived at school. Our eyes met, but we said nothing. Raina said nothing about last night, as if it never happened. But I could see that those events were real by the wounds carved into her fingers.
Oh.
I just heard her telling Sadako and the others that the bandages were from hurting herself in the kitchen. Though it wasn't like it bothered me. The details that Oichi-san shared about Reina's incident before her transfer played vividly in my mind. Now that I knew about it, I couldn't even dream of Reina as a cute, ideal girl.
Kei-chan, I see you're still aiming for the Nationals.
It was Mion. I'd already sensed her approach, so I wasn't that surprised. Oh, Mion. If you understand, then please leave me alone. I'm busy practicing. I gave her a curt reply without my usual jokes. Then I gave the bat an even larger swing, tacitly keeping Mion from getting any closer.
Hey, Kei-chan, take it easy.
I think Mion got the message, but she still urged me to give it a rest. Homeroom's not that far off, is it? Just let me finish practicing. I swung the bat even harder as a sign of my refusal.
Kei-chan, when did you get into baseball?
Just recently.
Recently? You mean yesterday?
Don't ask if you already know.
Oh dear. That's a very unsportsmanlike reply.
You're distracting me. Go away. I ignored Mion and kept swinging. Normally, she'd get mad or bored or leave if someone gave her the cold shoulder like this. But Mion just stood there, waiting patiently for me to stop swinging. I didn't sense any hostility, but we were at school in plain view. I doubt she'd suddenly attack me here. Or was that too naive? Still, I was starting to get tired. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad to take a break and hear her out. You need me for something, right? What is it? Sweat poured from me as I stopped swinging. I noticed my shoulders were heaving as I breathed. I cursed my lack of exercise. At this rate, I might not be able to move as needed when the time came. Should probably keep practicing my swings to build stamina in addition to the excuse for carrying the bat around with me.
Well, it's nothing important. If you're tired, I can ask again later.
No, it's fine. I'm only dealing with you right now because I judged the situation to be safe. Talking to you alone and away from the others, that's out of the question.
Well,
Mion was uncharacteristically trying to choose her words. But unlike Oishi-san, it didn't look like she was going to talk about something I'd rather not hear. Mion was puzzled, trying to find the right thing to say. But then she gave a hearty laugh to break herself out of that mire.
ha 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 ha. This old man's just no good at this stuff. Having a poor vocabulary hurts.
What's this all of a sudden? If you have something to say, just say it.
Stop it. Stop that swinging.
She cut straight to the point. Her request was so frank, I didn't understand it for a moment. I'd already stopped swinging to listen to her, hadn't I? I just stopped, didn't I?
That's not what I meant. I want today to be the last day that you swing that bat. I'm sorry.
It took me some time to understand what she was asking for. What's wrong with swinging a bat? Why? It's none of your business, is it? I'm not bothering anyone, am I?
You are.
Mion said it flat out. This didn't make any sense, and that was really irritating. When did I bother anybody? Mion was at a loss for words, but she finally made up her mind and spoke, though she stuttered as she said it.
Because, Kei-chan, that's someone else's bat. You shouldn't borrow it without permission.
It was left behind by a student who transferred, right? I'm just borrowing it until he comes back for it.
Yeah, he transferred.
Mion grew uncharacteristically flustered. That made it all too clear that his transfer was a lie. But strange... Yeah, she does.
Look genuinely concerned, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But strange, isn't it? For the older brother to transfer by himself, while his little sister stayed behind. Mion couldn't hide her reaction as my words shook her up.
Kei-chan, you knew?
Satoshi Hojo. Sadako's older brother, right? The one demoned away last year.
I forgot.
Unable to respond to that, Mion fell silent.
Thank you, game, for reminding me.
Reina asked the same thing. Why'd you start swinging that bat? She told me Satoshi did the same thing. Practicing his swings. Right before he went missing. So? Is this some kind of an omen for Yashiro-sama's curse?
Shush.
Mion panicked and looked around.
Please, Kei-chan, don't mention Oyashiro-sama so recklessly. I don't believe in him, but the others very much do. Reina especially.
Dangerously so?
Anyway, you're scaring everyone. If you're just fooling around, then stop it. You have to stop acting like Satoshi.
I was the one who was scared. Who do I have to thank for taking up this bat in the first place? But it still unsettled me knowing that my actions were overlapping with Satoshi's. It would be one thing if someone suggested it, but I thought I was making my own decisions. I'll say this now. I don't know anything about Satoshi. After all, you didn't tell me anything about him.
We didn't mean to hide it.
You were hiding the incidents that happen every year, weren't you?
That's because he didn't want to.
You didn't want to scare me? That's your reason for leaving me out?
No, we didn't mean to.
Mion, I asked you directly if something happened at the dam, didn't I? And you told me nothing happened. When someone was dismembered and murdered. You lied to me!
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to lie to you.
Friends don't hide things from each other, right? Isn't that right? You all aren't my friends!
Oof. Hey, Chan,
Mion looked helpless and flustered. Was I
She's being genuine.
imagining the tears in her eyes? I never could have imagined Mion acting like this. Oh, by the way, those get well mochi you brought the other day, they were good. I thought I was going to bleed. Who did it? You?
That was
Or Reina?
sorry. That was good delivery. By the way, I wanted to.
me.
She admitted it so easily. I couldn't help but be surprised at how easy that was. You could have killed me. How could you do that to a friend?
It was just a prank.
Mion gave me a wry smile mixed with confusion, causing me even more anger to well up inside me. You think
Oh, that's sorry. That's interesting.
You think that was a prank? I grabbed Mion by the collar and lifted her up.
Oh shit, buddy, calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
That wasn't the same as putting Tabasco sauce in a piece of mochi. It was a needle, a sewing needle. If I'd swallowed that and it lodged in my throat, what do you think would happen? Mion's face froze as her body rattled in fear. This wasn't the Mion Sonozaki I knew anymore. Anyways, you're not my friend. There's no reason for me to listen to someone who's not my friend. So just leave me alone for a while. Got it?
About that, buddy, I don't know if that's actually correct.
Mion wasn't replying anymore. It won't be that easy to erase me, you know. The cops have been onto you from the start. So don't think you can make me disappear like you did Satoshi. I said it clearly. This was my declaration of war. I think you guys are suspects in the previous incidents too. I also know you've spent a lot of time with the cops ever since the anti-dam movement. Don't think you can hide it from me. Got that?
How did you know?
Mion stood there with a dumbstruck look on her face. That was when I heard the principal ringing the bell for the school. It's time for morning homeroom. Let's go. The class representative needs to be there, right? At that moment, for the first time, I realized Mion was sobbing as tears ran down her cheeks.
You're so mean, Kei-chan.
I wanted to console her, but I shut my mouth. Had no need to feel guilty. I'm going. Don't be late for homeroom. I left Mion still shaking as I turned to head for the entrance. I had no idea how troubling it was to make a girl cry. Behind my back, I could hear her muttering. It was a faint mutter. She was speaking to herself.
So that's how it is.
Huh? She wasn't saying it to anyone. It was Mion talking to herself. But it was a sobbing voice that had a kind of giddy cursing tone.
Huh?
I inadvertently stopped and turned back towards her.
Ah, fuck. Oh! What?
So it was that bastard. He leaked it all to Kei-chan.
What the fuck?
She balled up her fists as her tears continued to rain down. She glared at a spot on the ground, with a terrifying yet smiling face. cursing. A chill ran down my spine from that demonic expression. This transformation, Mion's transformation, was different from Reina's.
Uh-oh.
I should have killed him back then. He forgot the mercy I showed him just because he said he was going to retire this year.
Retiring this year?
Uh-oh.
Was she talking about Oichi-san?
Uh-oh.
Damn it, I'm going to kill that damn old man. Ugh.
Oh. Well.
I felt like the air itself had begun distorting. With Mion at the center, the world had begun to twist and spiral, bending, whirling. This was the first time I'd experienced such a visage.
Time for school!
Rise! Attention!
Mion made up an excuse for her red eyes by saying there was something wrong with her contacts.
Oh, I didn't know she wears contacts.
Yeah, well, there we go. After that, neither Reina nor Mion spoke to me for the rest of the day. Neither Sadako nor Rika-chan looked me in the eye.
I think the idea is that maybe she doesn't wear contacts.
Ah, yeah.
Strangely, I didn't feel hurt. Everything had just went back to the way it was. The month since I transferred in had almost been too much fun. That was all. School was supposed to be something like this to begin with. Should have disliked that feeling. But today it felt oddly refreshing. The bell rung, sung the end of the monotonous school day, which had felt so tense, yet so dull. Since it would cause a lot of unpleasant memories if they asked me to join into the club activities, I promptly started preparing to go home without even looking at them. I stuffed the contents of my desk into my bag, wrapped my hand around Satoshi's now familiar bat, and began heading towards the entrance. I was assailed by both the exhausting relief that nothing had happened today and the tiring possibility of the same thing repeating tomorrow. But deep down inside me, far beneath in the recesses of my heart, achingly, I knew this would be the last day of this cycle. I couldn't tell how the ending would be, whether it would end as I wished it to end, or if it would end as I hoped it wouldn't. Regardless of my current state, there was something more important than how things would end. There was something I wanted to know. Why did I have to be killed? How did it come to this? Why? For what purpose? The sunlight was relentless.
I don't think you're going to die, sir.
The sun, the heat, even the air. They wouldn't give me any answers. Or could it be that the cries of the Higurashi were desperately trying to tell me something? Somewhere mixed in with their shrieks, Tomitake-san and Satoshi were also probably trying to tell me something. Simply haven't been able to realize it yet. When I do realize it, I wonder if I will be amongst the Higurashi fruitlessly crying to the next victim. Glancing down at my feet, I saw Higurashi on its back, spasming weakly. There was still
Thank you, video game.
There was still much of the summer left, yet this one was already chirping its last song. I couldn't tell what it was saying, no matter how hard I listened. But I had to try. I had to try to listen to what it was desperately trying to tell me. At that moment, the shrills of the Higurashi ceased all at once,
Oh, shit.
Well, that's eerie.
as if they had huddled together, fearing that the person who brought them to their dreadful fate had arrived.
Also, I think they've mentioned the cicadas before, have they?
They have.
In passing. But I think it's interesting that now he's making a point of, it's, actually paying... I can't think of the words right now, but, they're relevant, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Squints!
There was no mistaking it. A presence was approaching.
You know, I know how in Japanese lore, there's in Japanese lore, everything has a spirit, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this case, that would also count the cicadas.
Yeah.
And so, methinks, theory crafting,
Oh?
that if that might be important, obviously the fact that the game is titled about the cicadas, the game is titled after the cicadas specifically, so it's like, obviously I think that they're important, and I think it's interesting that he's just like, oh, it's the last cycle, and Mion just said something creepy, and now he's talking about the cicadas specifically, and making note of them, and comparing them to the victims, and now they've just stopped dead, and
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I am worrying about it.
Oh yeah, do you think we'll be able to finish book 1 today?
Yeah, for sure.
Yay!
Yeah, we can for sure finish it.
We get a few answers to the fuck shit.
Hooray!
Let's continue. The sound of footsteps was almost non-existent.
Uh-oh.
If the Higurashi hadn't warned me by ending their chirping, I wouldn't have noticed. My exhaustion left me in a heartbeat. In its place was a rush of adrenaline that sharpened all of my senses. I was just barely able to hold back that creeping, suffocating feeling of horror. It wasn't something I could hold back for long. But in this moment when I needed to be razor sharp, I was able to retain my composure. I wasn't going to shout like I did yesterday. I hid myself calmly amongst the trees, waiting for my pursuer's shadow. Could I get them to pass by me? No. Since I was able to hear their footsteps, they were probably also able to hear mine. They might have already been able to tell that I'd hidden myself and was holding my breath. The person tailing me, was it Reyna, just like yesterday? If it was Reyna, I wouldn't hold back. Could just yell at her and make her go ahead like yesterday. If it wasn't Reyna, would depend on how they acted, I guess. The footsteps ambled closer.
I wonder.
Oh?
Something makes me wonder
What does it make you wonder?
that there might be a bit of a plot twist
Oh?
incoming. Because Mion was very clearly mad about what we assume is Tashi?
Oishi.
Oishi, thank you. I was close. About Oishi. Oh, I got the names Satoshi and Oishi confused. About him dying, and I've been talking about, the paranoia for poor Keiichi kicking in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, mayhaps there's a plot twist, and instead he thinks he is about ready to bonk one of his quote-unquote farmer friends, and instead he's going to bonk him.
Oh, interesting.
Me wonders. Anyway.
Let's see.
Keep going.
I swallowed, wiped my clammy hands on my pants, and readjusted the grip on the bat. I could tell that the fear I had beaten back once was now waiting for another opening to come at me. Who could it be? I peeked out from behind the tree at the person following me.
Never mind.
My imagination hadn't led me astray. It was Reyna. It was a bit of relief as I realized it was someone I knew, but that feeling left me in an instant. This wasn't the same Reyna that I knew. Her eyes were dark and lifeless, but her mouth appeared as if it was carved into a crescent. Yes, it looked like she was grinning slightly, and in her right hand
Oh!
was a hat.
Oh! Oh, well, fuck.
I hit
Wait a minute! No! Shit!
Oh shit, yeah.
It's
that
the
was like
beginning!
the very beginning.
Oh, no!
Also,
Oh,
sorry.
Never mind!
Wait, what's up?
I need to get a charger.
Oh, okay.
My laptop is going to die.
Okay, go ahead.
Shit!
Alas.
Shut the fuck up! It comes
that's
full
so
circle.
interesting to
Fuck!
see what happens next? This is fascinating.
I thought it was gonna be one of those things where we were gonna get the payoff like way later, kind of thing, if that makes sense.
From what I remember Bradley saying, they made this game first and weren't really intending to make sequels at
Oh,
first.
they weren't?
Or at least, like, this game came first before the other ones, at least.
I mean, I'm not I think there was an intention to write more. What I did mention was this was kind of written on the fly. It wasn't planned beforehand.
Okay.
Ah, okay. Still, ah!
That's interesting, because it holds really well for, like, a mystery that wasn't quite planned out.
Yeah, it does.
Because, like, there's ways to do that well. Higurashi is one example, and there's ways to do that poorly. Sherlock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck you,
Sherlock
Sherlock.
also has the problem of, like, thinking its audience is too dumb to comprehend anything, which really annoys me.
Oh, yeah, it pissed everyone off.
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't notice it when I was a kid watching it, but, like, yeah, a lot of Stephen Moffat's writing is just, like, I have to be me or my self-insert character has to be the smartest person in the room. It has to be just an insufferable bastard, but is also the hero for some damn reason.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. Anyway. I hid myself behind the tree once again and recalled the unbelievable sight I just saw. What was that just now? The embodiment of terror laid bare. Baseball, practicing my swing. There were tons of excuses for me to be carrying a bat. But for that hatchet? There's no excuse for that! A hatchet. Just like that?
Raina had a hatchet. That's how she got Colonel Randy back to her house.
That is true,
Wait,
yeah.
huh? What?
Remember
Okay,
when...
so way back at the beginning of the game, she was trying to get that KFC statue out from the dump, and Keiichi was just like, yeah, you're not going to be able to get it out in
I
one
said something
piece.
about
I
foreshadowing,
figured it
didn't
out.
I?
You're going to have to cut it up. And she did, because it was just so cute. So we knew she had a hatchet. We just forgot till now.
I feel like I definitely pointed out that foreshadowing during that
Oh,
one.
absolutely, yeah.
Anyway. Keiichi-kun. Are you playing hide and seek, I wonder?
My heart was pounding. Hard enough that I had trouble breathing. What little composure I had been able to hold on to now was crushed. In its place, cold sweat gushed forth, covering my entire body, letting me know precisely what kind of emotion had taken hold. Not good, not good, not good. I wasn't able to hide myself completely. She already knew I was here.
Were you trying to scare me, I wonder?
I decided it would be better to reveal myself now, so there was still space between us, than to allow Rain to come any closer. I adjusted my grip on the bat again, readied myself mentally, and stepped out from behind the tree.
I found you.
Rain was pleased that she found me, eliciting a mysterious giggle. Her mouth was smiling, but her eyes told me that she was displeased by the fact that I had been hiding. Those eyes, they were just so empty. My legs began to quiver. Ugh, not good. The pit of my stomach, sort of viscous, hot and cold substance began spreading around. If I allowed it, that substance would slip into my bloodstream and undoubtedly freeze all the organs in my body. Not good. Not good. Be devoured by Rain at this rate. Strike back! Don't lose! What is it? I blustered, hiding behind my bravado. But Raina didn't flinch one bit.
Just the same as Keiichi-kun. I'm heading home.
Then what about that hatchet?
And what about that bat you're holding?
I'm practicing my swing.
Then I'm treasure hunting.
Raina gave a flippant explanation as to why she had such a fearsome weapon. Treasure hunting?
At the treasure mountain near the dam site. I found a new cute thing. So I needed this to dig it out.
How could I believe that?
You wouldn't believe it, would you?
Reina's laugh was
Hey, your
obviously
evil
very
laugh
strange.
is very good.
Thanks, I've had years of practice.
I'd seen Reina's transformation many times before, but the one today was completely different. Like her mischievous tone and the shrewd glint in her eyes. It wasn't something that roundabout. I'm not sure what to say. It was just so obvious.
Wait, Keiichi-kun.
Reina didn't stop walking, even as she let out that eerie laugh. Whenever Reina got too close to me, I would scurry away and turn back towards her. The cycle repeated over and over.
Hey, bestie, maybe go to a populated area.
Yeah, kind of hard in a town with, like, less than 200 people in it.
Shit, you're right. Fuck, I forgot.
No matter how you looked at it, I was being chased by Reina and was trying to escape. Don't follow me!
I can't do that. My house is this way, after all.
When I met with Reina on this road yesterday, she cowered and trembled as she followed my commands. But today it was different. Reina didn't show a hint of trepidation. Actually, wasn't I the one who was cowering? The way home for Reina and me was the same, that's fine. I just changed my route. That'd work out, wouldn't it? I turned onto a side street I'd never been down and knew little about. But Reina saw me do that and followed me while laughing. Why? Why? Aren't you going home? Then just go home down the street you normally do. Why? Why would you follow me down this weird little side road? Those thoughts screamed in my head, eventually spilling out of my mouth. But why are you following me? The tone of my voice was already tinged with terror.
Because I want to talk to Keiichi-kun. Keiichi-kun wants to talk to Reina too, doesn't he? Doesn't he?
I don't want to talk about anything with you!
I think she only ever really talked about herself in the third person, but now she's talking about him in the third person. Which is interesting. That's a lie, isn't it? There's something you want to ask me about, isn't there?
Not at all! I have nothing to talk to you about!
That's a lie, isn't it?
It's not a lie! Reina's scream echoed, startling some nearby birds into flight. I cringed in fear. The only other thing I could do was increase my pace.
Also, new expression.
Yeah!
Don't you really like her angry sprite? It makes her seem just a bit more human, you know?
Yeah!
Also, I forgot. Oops. Oh well.
You're fine.
Lies.
Lies! There we go. Brr! Let's talk, Keiichi-kun. Talk. Talk.
Why was I running down this unfamiliar and deserted street?
Wait a minute. Why does this look familiar?
Oh, I think
don't know
it's the
if I've
same art they used for when he got run over. Or almost run over.
Oh, maybe. Doesn't Keiichi-kun have something he's worried about?
Nothing at all! I'm not worried about anything!
Lies!
Even though I was running...
Man, my sister's a friend over next door, and I'm like,
Even though Reina was walking. Why wasn't I getting any farther away?
I know. I really do know. You're scared, aren't you, Keiichi-kun?
I'm not scared! I'm not scared of anything!
Lies!
My breathing grew heavy and it felt like my legs were giving out from beneath me. Reina was even breaking a sweat.
I'll listen. This time I'll listen.
I had no idea what she was talking about or what exactly she wanted to do.
This time I'll listen. It will be different from the time with Satoshi-kun.
When she said Satoshi's name, I turned back for a moment. But even as I did that, Reina was still advancing. I couldn't afford to stop.
Satoshi-kun was worried too. It looked like he was having such a hard time. But I didn't listen. I was so sad.
Where'd this street connect to? All these twists and turns, ups and downs. It's hard to believe this was even remotely the direction towards my house. Sense of direction had long since gone out the window.
I really regretted it when Satoshi-kun transferred out. I thought that if I had listened, he may not have transferred out. So sorry, I've got to turn you down just a smidge.
You're good.
I really regretted that.
The road led me deeper into the forest. Wasn't I getting farther away from the village the more I ran? I lost more and more of my composure the more I thought about it. But despite this realization, my inner self was still disturbingly calm.
So you see, I vowed that if there was someone struggling like Satoshi-kun did, I'd save them. I don't want to see anyone transfer out again.
Damn it! What does transfer even mean? I won't let you transfer me!
You know, you could have just asked her, but okay.
Yeah. I won't end up the same as Satoshi!
Come on, Keiichi-kun, talk to me. I'll be able to understand you, Keiichi-kun. I'm your ally.
I started wheezing out of breath. My lungs were so hot that they felt like they were going to explode. My heart was beating as hard as it possibly could. Should practice running instead of my swing! Couldn't even afford to scoff at that stupid thought.
If Keiichi-kun doesn't have anything to worry about, he'll go back to normal. Everyone will be back to being friends and we can enjoy club activities again. Next time we'll team up and beat Michan.
Yeah, how much fun that would be. I couldn't even imagine how much I had wished I could turn back the clock on these past few days.
You could be nice to me again, too. I want to go searching for treasure again. This time I'll prepare a nice lunch. Actually, we could just go right now. Let's go up to the dam site together. I'll show you the cute thing I just found.
Okay, but like, what if the cute thing she found is Satoshi's body?
Oh, gosh.
Oh my god, no! I'm sure you'll like it too.
My footsteps made pathetic flapping sounds as my legs wobbled and faltered. Hot on my heels, Reina's steps were sharply breaking twigs underfoot. I had to accept it. I was on the run, being chased by Reina. If she caught me, it was all over. Realized it instinctively. I couldn't even begin to think of what the end would entail. It's just that if I was caught, it was all over. That's all I knew. Didn't matter how it was going to end. I wouldn't let it end. Not without knowing anything. Not yet! That momentary lapse was all it took. Of all the things that could have happened, my knees buckled underneath me and I crumbled towards the ground. I tried to stand frantically, urging my legs to respond. Using my bat as a makeshift cane to prop myself up, but Reina was already standing right in front of me. Compared to me, out of breath and utterly exhausted, Reina was so cool and composed that she could have froze the air around her. She wasn't breathing hard at all. Rather, I couldn't even sense if her heart was beating.
Toning it back just a bit more again. It's hard to tell without seeing her face, but a little unhinged earlier felt correct.
Oh,
Are you
definitely,
afraid
yeah.
of something, I wonder? It's not like you to tremble, Keiichi-kun.
Her expression looked almost affectionate. Those soulless eyes, that mask of affection. As she admonished me for trembling, Reina's hands deftly slipped over her head.
Hey, what's with the red tint on the screen?
The blur of arms as they moved made me feel as if I was staring at the godliness of the thousand-armed Buddha. Then as both of her hands met above her head, the hatchet that she held came into focus. I stared up at it in disbelief. It was all I could do. Tell me, what happened to Satoshi? Reina stayed like that with the hatchet raised above her head and solemnly opened her mouth. It's as if she was expressing a farewell to a friend that she was never going to see again. That cruel scenario resided somewhere in her actions.
I told you. Satoshi-kun transferred out.
Enough of that transfer crap! It means demoned away, doesn't it? Doesn't it? You can tell me now, can't you? Who made Satoshi disappear? Was it you? Mion? Or someone in the village? Answer me! I became frantic the more I screamed. Marin did nothing but maintain the smile frozen on her face.
I have no idea what Keiichi-kun is talking about.
Then I'll say it in a way so you do. Who is the perpetrator of this chain of mysterious deaths?
You seem to be confused, Keiichi-kun.
What?
There is no human perpetrator. Everything is by Fuck, not again!
Oh, Yashiro.
Yashiro.
Yashiro. Thank you!
Well,
From the top.
There is no human perpetrator. Everything is by Oyashiro-sama's will.
Isn't Oyashiro-sama's curse a superstition? You believe in that too?
It's not about believing or not. Oyashiro-sama exists. Period.
Reina's gaze grew even more gelid. The ferocity of her stare was so intense, not allowing me to question anything. There's just no way that something like Oyashiro-sama could exist.
You don't believe in Oyashiro-sama?
oh, that was absolutely the wrong thing to say.
There's no way I could believe it! There's no way it could exist!
It exists. Oyashiro-sama exists. Keiichi-kun should have felt it personally.
I never felt something like that!
Keiichi-kun, haven't you felt someone apologizing to you before? Constantly on top of that?
All noise from the outside world disappeared. Only Reina's voice resounded, loudly and terribly.
You see, until you forgive them, they'll always be with you. At school, at home, at your bedside.
I couldn't understand what Reina was saying.
What? It came to me too. Oyashiro-sama did. That's why I transferred and came back to Hinamizawa.
I got it, yes.
I don't understand. I don't understand. What does transfer even mean? What was Reina saying?
Hasn't Oyashiro-sama come to you as well, Keiichi-kun? I'm probably the only one who you can confide in. I won't let you transfer out. Okay?
Oh, that's you. Bestie?
Reina's demented laughter clanged around inside my head.
Bestie?
Was Reina saying Oyashiro-sama came to her as well?
Bestie?
That's right. Last night I had heard about that when I asked about Reina.
Welcome to madness. We're officially in madness. I mean, we've been here for a while, but we're officially in madness. So hi.
Please keep this confidential. Also, part of this may be speculation. Not all of it may be true. Are you still interested?
Oishi-san began speaking.
Neither the victims nor the school filed a complaint, so there's no preliminary report. Basically, the police had an interview in this matter. So all of these details are just what I heard from those involved. Meaning, it's not that credible.
You said there were victims? Didn't Reina just break all the windows?
No, Rena Ryugu had attacked 3 boys using a metal bat. 2 of them made it out with only bruises, but the other had been injured so badly that one of his eyes was permanently damaged.
Oh.
Wouldn't that be considered assault? Shouldn't the police have arrested her?
For whatever reason, the victim never pressed charges.
Interesting.
There was no report to the police, so...
They were beaten with a bat and suffered significant injuries. Normally there would be a criminal investigation. But why didn't they press charges?
I tried asking the 3 male victims for their side of the story, but they were all reluctant. It's hard to say, but they were all afraid. Even after she had transferred schools.
Oichi-san, could you summarize it starting from the beginning? Reina hit people while she broke the windows? Or was it she started breaking the windows after she got bored of hitting people?
Oh, give me 1 second.
Oh, you're good.
I'll take my stupid sweatshirt off here. Kind of hard to do that with earbuds in.
Yeah.
True. Oh wait, they can't hear us.
Oh, that's so much better. Anyway, continue.
Okay. They sounded similar, but the meanings were drastically different.
On an undisclosed date, Ren Ryugu was conversing with 3 male students, close friends of hers, near the pool storage shed.
Who were those 3?
I can't reveal their names, but they were close to Ren Ryugu, and it seems they were a group of friends. She was the lone girl in their group.
So it wasn't that strange that the 4 of them were together. So what happened?
I don't know the reason why.
Wait a minute. 4 people in a group, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Very interesting parallels anyway.
Yeah, that's interesting because, like, in the Higurashi friend group, there's 5 of them. There's 4 girls and 1 guy. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
She took the baseball team's bat that was in the pool storage shed and beat the 3 of them down, one after the other.
What? There were no witnesses. This was an account pieced together by the information given at the time of the incident. One day after school, Raina and 3 male students were at the pool storage shed talking together. They weren't seeking help. Rather, they usually met up there. Appears it became a heated discussion. At that time, Raina underwent a change. The change was so abrupt that the 3 of them didn't comprehend what was happening. Then, taking the metal bat, she attacked her friends one after the other. Leaving her friends covered in blood with gashes on their head, she made her way towards the school building. What's up?
I'm so used to Danganronpa with like bright fucking magenta splashes of blood that the red took me off guard.
That's fair.
Then she broke the glass windows one after the other. A few minutes later, a teacher appeared on scene and subdued her. What was this change Raina underwent?
What matches up in the statements from the 3 was a sudden change. Wow, helpful. The point that there was a transformation.
Transformation? I also could recall Raina's transformation. I'd seen that change many times before. It was so different from the usual Raina that I couldn't help but believe it was someone else who looked like Raina. That transformation that they're talking about, had it happened before?
No, there was nothing like that. As far as I could find out in her medical history and past, there was nothing like that.
Does that happen often? Where people change something like Raina did?
Well, yes, of course it does. There are plenty of psychological phenomena that could cause something like that.
Then, you're saying there was a dormant element in Raina that caused that transformation?
I cannot say that for certain. But according to the statements of her friends, it's hard to believe that she had such a side to her.
Kind, caring, and adorable. Even before she transferred here, she was probably pretty popular in school like she was now. That girl transforming suddenly and assaulting them with a bat. Who could imagine such a thing? Nobody could have seen it coming. I myself sometimes believed that I was mistaken for thinking that was Reina, even now. Then, what happened after that?
There was a hospital right across from the school, so the three of them were carried in and treated quickly.
Well, that's good.
What about Reina? What about the police? Why wasn't there a criminal investigation?
You see, the police can't get involved unless they're called.
Even though one was badly injured with permanent damage? Why didn't they file charges?
That's what caught my attention as well. Either some threat or pressure was placed on them, or they had a reason they couldn't file charges even if they wanted to.
We're talking about you, after all. Of course you looked into it, didn't you?
Well, yeah. But I told you at the beginning, didn't I? That the victims were all very reluctant to talk. They didn't want to touch on the matter, or rather, they didn't want to be involved.
Reluctant to talk. Didn't want to touch it. Didn't want to be involved. It resembled the villagers here in Oyashiro-sama's curse. Did the teacher at that school tell you anything?
The school is hallowed ground. You could say that they tend to keep scandals under wraps. I didn't have a search warrant, so I had to tread lightly, you see.
Then...
Oh, that's illegal.
Yeah. Then there was no comment from the school?
No. They denied the incident even happened.
Oh, okay. I thought. Okay, I think he did that correctly then, because he's like, I didn't have a search warrant, so I couldn't do much.
Yeah.
It's just... 3 male students were carried in for blunt force trauma that day. That's all there was in the hospital records.
The victims didn't speak, the school denied it happened. Then you don't know anything at all.
Yeah. I know nothing other than the incident itself had taken place. The victims also wished this incident to be kept from the public, so if you and I both forget about it, Mibara-san, then this incident will probably just fade away.
For a brief period, we sat in silence. At first glance, it seemed like a simple assault case, but that was just the tip of the iceberg. The depths were obscured by rolling waves, sinking quietly into the void, as if it never existed to begin with.
After that, she was suspended by the school. And during that time, she underwent psychiatric counseling.
Did you hear anything from that doctor?
Again, they were very professional in regards to their ethics.
Patient
Confidentiality. Yeah.
Thank you.
Or at least, very tight-lipped.
Nothing even after you showed them your badge?
Dude, patient confidentiality. I was told to get a warrant. The badge itself has no legally binding authority after all.
I'm so glad this game actually follows like some realistic like law stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like
And then
cop
there's-
shows where like cops can get anything they want just by flashing their badge.
Yeah.
Then,
That's what they want you to think.
yeah. Then how did you know that Reina confessed that it was Oyashiro-sama who did it?
There was a nurse I asked in that department. She agreed to help me just from showing her my badge. Lame.
Then what did she say? Turns out that the nurse hadn't heard everything. Apparently all that she remembered was what she overheard from inside the room.
The nurse said that at the time, Reina Ryugu was very calm and mild-mannered.
It was more like she was confessing her sins at church than a counseling session. She spoke with her mother there for some of it, but partway through her mother was asked to leave, so it became a private counseling session between just the doctor and Reina for a while. The part with Oyashiro-sama, when did that pop up?
Partway through. Oh, that's cold. Damn. Okay. She screamed a name suddenly.
Ooh.
That startled the nurse, and that's why she started listening in.
Interesting. Oh, hello, violin screech.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
I can't be too loud, because I don't want to be.
Valid.
Understandable.
You can.
It was Arashi-sama. I fungled that.
Don't worry about it.
Pronunciation.
It's fine. Don't worry.
Bleh.
It happens.
Raina suddenly shouted that. I had no idea what was said before that, so I had no idea what the meaning behind it could have been. The doctor, calmly and collectedly, asked Raina to have a seat. What is the Yashiro-sama you speak of? Gently. Ever so gently. Fundamental part of counseling is to be a good, patient listener.
Whoever abandons Hinamizawa will be hunted down by Yashiro-sama.
And it's finally gotten to me.
That's the town you lived in before you moved here. Isn't that right, Ryuko-san?
I didn't want to move, but because my mom and dad's circumstances, we had to.
Okay, but why didn't it go after her parents?
Ooh.
Interesting
I
question.
guess because, like, she's a main character and they aren't.
You'll see. Actually,
Squints.
this gets explained way later.
Fuck!
Well, I hope I remember this point.
Yeah, I think it gets answered during the answer arc.
Yeah. This doesn't get answered until, like, book 6, I think.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if it acted through her, just because she is a teenager, and kids and teenagers, like the elderly, tend to be more susceptible to supernatural bullshit.
That could be true, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want to move, but because of my mom and dad's circumstances, we had to, but Yashiro-sama wouldn't allow it.
Ryugo-san must have lots of friends in Hinamizawa. Even now, you must be missing them dearly, don't you think?
I want to go back. Back to Hinamizawa. No, it's not that I want to go back. I have to go back. I should have gone back much sooner. But now it's too late. Yashiro-sama has come.
Oh, Yashiro-sama's the name of the god in Hinamizawa, isn't that right?
Everyone knows it's Hinamizawa's guardian deity. And if you ever try abandoning Hinamizawa by leaving, you'll incur its wrath.
You had moved quite a while ago, didn't you? Then it was just now that this god has arrived. Is that what you're saying?
You might not believe me, but Yashiro-sama exists.
That nurse was then asked by another nurse to do something and left the room. That was all she remembered.
Oh, I wonder if the other people who were deemed away, if they wanted to leave Hinamizawa as well.
Interesting.
Or maybe if it's genuinely they were outsiders, so they had to go.
Yeah, like the camera guy. But wait, didn't he say he comes here every year?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Interesting. And it only happened this once. Interesting.
That it was Yashiro-sama's doing, right?
I do believe that there is that kind of superstition in Hinamizawa. That if you leave the village, you incur Oyashiro-sama's wrath. You should be familiar with this part, Megara-san.
I knew very well what those scorned by the village incurred. To hinder the dam construction project, they cursed the construction foreman to his death. Then the following year, Sadako's parents, supporters and leading advocates for the dam, were cursed to their death. But this was the first time I've heard of the curse incurred by leaving the village. This is my first time hearing that. I can understand outside threats being cursed by the village, but why also villagers who leave? Normally, people who leave villages aren't supposed to be cursed, right? It was a bit strange to say it, but I could see it as a rule that the people who come in are the ones who would be cursed. Far from Jupiter, far from his thunder. Curses weren't something to chase after people that leave, were they? Oishi-san pondered for a bit on the other end of the receiver, then began speaking again.
Well, I told you of long ago what Hinamizawa was called Onigafuchi, didn't I?
I recalled hearing that. Long ago, Hinamizawa was feared and respected as the village of ogres.
The villagers at the foot of the mountains worship the ogres. So Onigafuchi was hollow ground that you could never enter. It came to be said that if you entered carelessly, you were cursed by Oyashiro-sama.
Those who set foot in Onigafuchi, in other words, Hinamizawa, would be cursed.
Oh, so it does go both ways.
I could understand that. I know that. But for leaving to also be no good, that's...
Also, the ogres, you see. They were being strictly watched by Oyashiro-sama, so they would not enter into our world. In other words, Oyashiro-sama probably restricted interaction between Onigafuchi and the rest of the world.
I see. I finally understood what sort of thing Oyashiro-sama was. So basically, Oyashiro-sama is more like a warden than a protectorate deity, I guess. Trying to keep this place isolated from the rest of the world.
I guess that's how it would seem. I'm sorry, I don't know very much myself. This is mostly what was passed on to me from my grandmother.
I can understand it a bit better if it was like that. Those who came to Hinamizawa would be cursed, and those who tried to leave would also be cursed. So, because Reina originally lived in Hinamizawa and moved away, she fulfilled the requirements for being cursed. So that means, because Reina moved away against its wishes, she was cursed by Oyashiro-sama. Is that what it adds up to?
In short, that seems to be what it points to, I guess. As a matter of fact, soon afterwards, they did move back to Hinamizawa after all.
Those who abandoned Hinamizawa and left were cursed. But then, why only Reina? Shouldn't Reina's parents have also been guilty of that same transgression by moving away and having been cursed? Hey, look, the game acknowledges your question.
Good.
Also, in this day and age in Japan, should there be a lot of people coming and going? If every single one of them was cursed, then it'd be insane.
Hey, what about your parents, Keiichi?
No.
Yeah.
It just crossed my mind.
Because, they're not in the city right now.
True.
Well, they're not in the town. I don't think Hinamizawa counts
Yeah.
as the city.
But in reality, it wasn't that big of a deal at all. At most, there would be one person dying and one disappearing on the day of the Watanagashi. I don't like saying at most, though.
Well, anyways, there's a lot I still don't know.
Same boat.
Even if it was Oyashiro-sama's curse, it doesn't explain Reina beating her classmates with a metal bat, or why the victims wouldn't press charges.
Correct.
You don't think the victims were cowering because they believed that a terrible curse had befallen on them, do you?
Of course I didn't want to believe it. But, more importantly, I had just realized something else. There was another bizarre connection that Reina made between Oyashiro-sama's curse and metal bats. Satoshi fell victim to Oyashiro-sama's curse and went missing. I had recently learned that Satoshi had also become infatuated with the metal bat right before he disappeared. Just
What
like
if
me.
Reina brought it with her? What if Reina brought that bat with her to Hinamizawa, shoved it in a locker, and then Satoshi found it?
Then Reina as well. She was affected by Oyashiro-sama's curse. She confessed that much to the doctor. And the weapon which she had used at the time of the horrendous act was, again, a metal bat. And finally, me. I'd encountered various things that were inexplicable, and now I was holding onto a metal bat. I was shocked when I learned that Satoshi did the same thing. It couldn't be. Had the same thing happened to Reina? But there was one critical difference between her and Satoshi's case. That being, Satoshi went missing after falling victim to the curse, but Reina was still here. Both of them had fallen victim to Oyashiro-sama's curse, yet they were met with different endings. And finally, me. I couldn't call it a coincidence anymore. Reina, Satoshi, and finally, me. Could it be that I really was under Oyashiro-sama's curse right now?
I mean, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Also, like, Raven is still very much holding an axe above his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, more importantly than that, what should I do now? Satoshi had been demoned away, vanishing without a trace. Reina was fine. Fine? Reina had undergone a change. I can only believe that there was something that wasn't Reina residing within her. And here, right now, it was standing before me. Reina? Please tell me. What will happen to me?
Also, there's something that's also been on my mind since we were kind of getting that whole, like, background explanation. It's just like, I was just like, hey, we kind of we were kind of moving in a direction. How close are we to leaving the village right now?
Oh, yeah.
Did we cross the border?
I imagine it extends, like, a bit around the borders just because, like, people have fields and whatnot.
But, like, I'm just noticing that we're just, like, out in the middle of this random-ass fucking woods.
Reina stood imposingly, not answering. Satoshi disappeared. But Reina didn't disappear. So, what will happen to me? I'd never heard such an unpleasant laugh before. It had become akin to the sound of her breathing.
Oh.
No longer a voice or an expression of feeling.
Don't worry. I'll save you.
Reina took one step forward, still holding the hatchet high above her head.
Interesting. Hold on. That raises, like, a question, because it's like, they were... all of their feelings, I feel like a lot of their feelings are genuine about the concern and all that, and there is something in my brain that makes me wonder if she's genuine about this, about helping him, because it's like, the whole curse, what if she... What if by killing him... What if she's basically inducing a mercy kill?
I was thinking something different, that, like, she was able to survive and not get demoned away because she took some of that cursed out energy out on other people by hurting them. So Reina's gonna try to hurt Keiichi, but not actually murder him.
Oh, good point. Yeah, because the last three boys were only injured. But still, there's the fact of the pattern of just, like, missing, fine. The last one is dead. The last one is very dead.
Now then.
One step closer. Reina's face spread out to fill my vision.
Speak.
One step closer. Reina's nose was close enough to touch mine, and was still pushing closer.
Hi, is this close enough? Was that too loud?
You're good.
It was funny.
There's something you want to say, isn't there? I'll listen. I'll save you, okay? Speak, okay? Speak, okay?
I slumped down, landing squarely on my butt. It wasn't for some pathetic reason. It's all I could do to get as far away from Reina. I had the gut feeling that I couldn't let her laughter end, because when that laughing ended, the moment I picked up on that feeling, my body moved by instinct. I sprang to my feet so fast even I couldn't believe it, and pushed Reina away with both hands. Reina was as light as a feather. Thrown about by the unbalanced weight of the hatchet, she was sent backwards as if she had been carried off by the wind. After confirming that out of the corner of my eye, I dashed off at full speed. That's a perfect picture of fleeing like a greased pig.
Keiichi, you should have just told her.
Get away from Reina. Run away. Survive! I couldn't think of anything other than this. While I was running, remembered I'd been holding onto a bat the entire time. Such a worthless weapon. Couldn't believe I'd forgotten about this weapon at such an important time. Sped even farther down the winding path. Didn't even feel myself gasping for breath or my legs getting heavy. My butt.
Where are you?
He's in the middle of the woods somewhere.
Yeah.
My body understood it as well. If I didn't run away from here, I wouldn't live. Could hear the laughter of that simulacrum of Reina coming from behind me.
Good word.
Rang through the trees in my head, slowly chiseled away at my sanity. The grove of trees thinned out, my field of vision suddenly expanding.
We're at the dam.
Yep.
Where was this?
Uh-oh.
For a moment, I was bewildered by the scenery I felt I knew, but couldn't quite remember. I quickly realized it was the dam site.
Hey, remember that thing I said about parallels?
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
Yeah, this game is really well written because when it first introduced us to the dam, it's literally just this abandoned project with a trash heap that Rain is digging through because she liked to find shit in it. And now it's become much more sinister because Reina is a lot more sinister, and I really like that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The fact that I dashed madly and ended up in a place like this gave me a bad feeling, like I was following someone's scripted plot.
Hey,
Hey.
So, welcome to being the main character of a horror story.
True. I had a good view of my surroundings, but didn't see a single soul here. This was a terrible spot for someone on the run. There was no better place for an attacker. My heart was already on the verge of bursting. The muscles in my legs were screaming, but I didn't care. If I stopped here, then they might not even be able to scream for much longer. Even still, I glanced back, looking for an excuse to rest. Raina wasn't there. Instead, I saw two villagers walking around. I breathed a sigh of relief that it wasn't Raina, but a third party. Except the voice inside me rang the alarm once again. Villagers walking around were suspicious in themselves, but it bothered me. They both wore rough-looking clothes. Empty-handed, they definitely gave the impression that they were just out for a walk. But at this time of day, two adults wandering around without a purpose was enough to raise questions. But more than anything else, those eyes. They weren't chit-chatting while walking. They were both silent, heading forward, looking in my direction. Was I at the end of my rope and had finally started imagining things? I should run away. Those were probably the best choice. They weren't involved. I'd lose them easily by running. They were part of the group after me. They would come running after me. Either way, unless I hurried up, Raina would catch up with me. That's right. I was going to run. Deciding that, the moment I began to turn tail, both of them rushed towards me as if they knew exactly what I was thinking.
Oh, fuck.
Somewhere inside me, I jumped to the conclusion that Raina was the only thing I needed to be afraid of. I made the assumption that I didn't need to fear anything else. But right now, I realized just how blatantly wrong I was. Suddenly the story Oishi-san told me about the demons all leaving the village to hunt prey floated through the back of my mind. I could tell they were both coming after me without even turning around because of their frenetic footsteps. It was frightening, being able to shake Raina off as she slowly closed in on me. But this didn't even compare. Being pursued with such violent ferocity. The straightforward horror was unparalleled. One of the pursuer's arms grazed my shoulder. It wasn't just their frenzied footsteps, also the distinct sound of their breathing that I could hear. No. I could practically feel the breathing on me. They're already right behind me. Calm down, Keiichi Maebara. Still running at full tilt. Felt the surrounding area go still. No. Felt like time itself had stopped.
Ah, fuck.
Turned my head back slightly in that frozen world, realizing how close my pursuers had gotten to me. I couldn't win against the legs of an adult. Less than the time it would take to blink twice, this frozen time began moving again. They'd be right on top of me. On top of me. And then... Think about that, Keiichi. First, realize that you won't be able to shake them off like this. The fact that you can't get away with was a given. Then you need to make a decision. Go with the right leg, go with the left. You just need to decide which one. Let's go with the left. And when I decided that, then Pearl Singularity burst into pieces. Right? Left! I swung the bat in a wide arc with my right arm. Using that inertia, I stopped and suddenly spun. What? The two of them were clearly startled. momentarily losing sight of me, both of their outstretched arms, ready to grab me, set grass in empty space. The man on the right, I applaud him for being able to figure it out, spun around to the spot I should have been, and faced me in astonishment. But it was too late. Didn't even need to swing my bats. All I needed to do was extend my arms as I turned around. It was by no means a heavy blow, but seemed like it had enough power behind it to knock him off his feet. But just knocking him down was enough to scare him away. He got back up in no time. Both of them took a fighting stance and were ready to face me. This made me certain they weren't just two people out for a walk. They were clearly after me. It felt much easier than dealing with Reyna. Just by not recognizing their faces, by not knowing them, it made things easier. I smiled wryly on the inside.
Anyway,
Uh-huh. Yeah?
remember what I said earlier about, like, how, I'm scared of Keiichi with the bat right now,
Also, like, this track being used for Ever Since was really good sounds.
Yeah. What do you want with me? Next one is going to be the red in your face, you bastard! It's fine, it was just a bluff. By barking out at them, I was able to fire myself up. They didn't respond. Spread out to either side of me with unbelievably calm expressions on their faces. One of them would grab onto my bat and the other would hold me down. Was that their plan? Taking on both of them at once would be impossible. Hot sweat poured from every pore in my body. Then I just had to settle it with the first move. I'd step in and strike the first one down. Narrowing my target down on the man on the right, who had already been knocked down before, I stepped in and swung with all my might. There was no way for an unarmed person to guard against it. It would cause immense damage. They blocked with their arm. Their bone would snap like a twig. They turned their back to it. It was possible that blow would travel all the way to their vital organs. It looked like he was aware of this. He pushed farther through the kill zone between us and delivered a fist right to my gut. Not good. This distance, this position in this state, there was no way for me to dodge it. The world flipped upside down. It showed that I was being tossed around like a rag doll. Then on the soft earth without a sound, even the greeny soil pressed against my face. It didn't hurt at all. But the moment I thought that, I suddenly felt pain coming in from the abrasions on my skin, as well as the contents in my stomach being forced upwards, flooding my mouth with a bitter sensation. I knew very well that I didn't have time to relish this experience. I stood up as quickly as I could, but at that moment the other man was already barreling towards me. Being able to comprehend calmly that I couldn't simply dodge it made it all the more upsetting. They're plowing into my stomach full force once again. My assailant twisted around behind me and locked his thick arm around my neck. My throat felt like it was being crushed by his immense strength. I couldn't even contemplate that I was being strangled, or that I was about to go unconscious. My vision simply darkened and a silent whining noise began playing deep inside my mind. It took everything I had to keep myself from blacking out. While this was happening, and then it was more than likely standing in front of me. I wasn't able to open my eyes. I could feel that he was there. There was nothing I could do now. Unable to shake his arm off me, I couldn't run. I couldn't fight back. Dire straits. Couldn't even come up with the phrase that adequately described my situation.
I have no idea what is happening.
For a guy getting strangled, he sure has the energy to think a lot.
Yeah.
That's one thing, like, I get, like, the need for, like, description and stuff, but I do kind of wish, like, you know what, maybe I should write something with that level of, like, realism, where it's like, if you are passing out, your thoughts are, going.
That'd be
okay.
fun. Oh, like what you did for Auntie and the Duskmore fic.
Oh yeah, I did do that, I forgot.
A familiar ceiling. The smell of the bed and pillows. I knew them well.
Yeah, this is sus.
Was this my room? Normally there wouldn't be anyone in my room besides me, but their presence made me spring wide awake. When I did that, pain shot throughout my entire body.
Feeling alright? I think you'd better just lie down for a bit.
Why was Reyna in my room? Blood began to surge through my muscles and my capillaries. But Reyna's smile belonged to the Reyna I knew well. I knew I shouldn't let myself feel this way. but I relaxed thinking that this version of Reina was safe. Why am I...
Don't you remember?
After losing consciousness, nothing at all. My body had become more lethargic than I could have ever imagined. Guess that would be the expected outcome after exerting everything I had back there. Tried to at least clear my head, but just couldn't shake the sluggish feeling out of my mind.
I am so on edge right now.
I called the doctor. He should be here soon. I think you'd just better lie down until then.
I wasn't injured seriously enough to merit calling a doctor, but knowing that someone impartial was coming was slightly reassuring. Why am I here? I'm sure I was at the dam site.
That's what I want to know. What happened? When I got there, Keiichi-kun was already passed out.
That's why I'm the one who wants to know. I was attacked by two weirdos. As I talked about it, I finally remembered what happened right before I passed out. Recalling that memory and the terror that went along with it caused the fogginess around my head to clear right up. Let's forget about those two for now. I didn't expect Reina to be nursing me. I thought Reina was trying to kill me. She would have the perfect chance while I was unconscious. Not only did she not kill me, she had nursed me back to health. Amazing you could track me all the way back here. Wasn't I heavy?
I love how this game gaslights me. Constantly.
Looking at Reina's delicate frame, it was hard to believe that she had not only gotten me back home, but even dragged me all the way up to the second floor. Did she have some help?
You know what? New theme for this game. This game clearly has a theme of trust no one.
You know, I think Keiichi would get along with Ford until Ford realizes that Keiichi has like no fucking survival skills.
Yeah, real.
He has no survival skills.
Don't you remember, Keiichi-kun?
Reina appeared a bit surprised, but still kept her smile.
I only propped you up on my shoulder. You said you could walk on your own and that you were fine. You don't remember?
I didn't remember. Memory was fuzzy after the point where I lost consciousness. What about those two?
Huh?
When you got there, Reina, the ones with me, rather, those two guys.
There wasn't anyone.
She said it bluntly. The way she said it felt slightly unpleasant. I was just too timid at that time. Might have been able to force some answers out of Reina. But if I did that, then this kind Reina might transform into the scary Reina who I didn't know. Fearing that, I didn't press any further. Thinking about it, it was the obvious choice. If both of those men were there, I don't think Reina would even have stood a chance. Couldn't find a way to explain it unless I assumed she brought me here after those two were already gone. Reina was still smiling. Her eyes sparkled warmly. Yet, I felt like I was hallucinating when I saw something. Something akin to a shadow slowly creeping across her face.
Uh-oh.
That small omen sent shivers down my spine. While Reina was still Reina, I needed to make contact. I needed to contact Oishi-san. Reina stopped me when I tried to get out of bed.
I mean, listen, okay, on the one hand, I get that the need for answers, but I'm also like, because I'm like, this only causes problems.
Yeah. She said it would aggravate my wounds, so I should sleep. I'd like to go to the bathroom, though.
Sorry.
Reina couldn't say anything else.
Oh my god, did I finally say an ah and make it sound natural?
Hey, you did.
Good job.
Hooray!
Yippee.
While Reina stayed in the room, I quickly went downstairs to get the phone receiver in the living room. When I approached the front door, the doorbell rang. Ding dong. Must have been the doctor Reina had called.
Oh yeah.
It was strange for a patient to welcome in the doctor who was making a house call, but it would be incredibly reassuring to have him here for the considerable time it would take Oishi-san to get here. I carelessly opened the door with that simple assumption, and regretted it almost
That's
immediately.
Why you look first, Dingus.
Mion?
Hi!
Oh wow, you look like shit.
Shit!
Oh, you look just fine. I heard you collapsed, so I came to check up on you.
How did you know I collapsed?
I heard from Reina over the phone. Do I need any other reason than that?
I understood why she would call a doctor. But why Mion too? Reina was ascending the stairs behind me.
Reina, don't Kei-chan look pretty, alright? Sheesh, you made me worry for nothing.
That's true. Maybe I worried for nothing as well.
They both began laughing. It appeared to be cheerful laughter, but I couldn't shake the feeling that there was a darkness looming over them.
Oh, what's up with this shoe rack?
Oh!
How did it get like that?
Oh, yeah, don't worry.
The shoe rack that I had smashed to pieces had been like that since yesterday. I fell, you see, and the bat I was holding at the time slammed into it.
This is what happens when you swing around something you're not used to handling.
I kept the fact that it was none of her business to myself.
Just like you know. I can't make that joke.
Do it, do it, do it.
No, I shouldn't. You know what? Fuck it. I'll put it in the text chat. I'm too ashamed to say it out loud.
Have no shame. So do you mind if I say it out loud?
You know what? Yeah, you have no shame because I'm saying it.
Go for it.
It's so bad, so bad. I fear no god.
Just like your dick.
Yay! It feels like the kind of joke she would have made.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, yeah, Mion absolutely would. Yeah.
Anyway, but leaving it like this will really startle your parents when they get home. I'll fix it up for you later.
Now come on, Kei-chan. The terminally ill need their rest. I don't know if she's joking when she said terminally or not.
I think that's the point.
Hate that. Come, back in bed.
Also, Keiichi did not point out the fact that she said terminally ill either.
No, he did not.
Keiichi's
I mean, that's a very
also
common
little
Mion
stupid.
joke anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, Mion. Sorry, I'm aggressively Midwestern.
You're fine.
No, you're good.
Both of them urged me up the stairs. I had no chance to call Oishi-san.
If I didn't know any better, I would probably pronounce ramen as ramen.
You're fine. I was pushed into my bed. As it was the first time Mion had been in my room, she began searching around it intently. She
Well,
felt...
of course I'm going to snoop. You can't stop me.
She filled around my room and was scolded by Reina. You can imagine how it went.
Wait a minute! Oh no! She's searching around the room! Didn't he hide a note?
Behind
his clock.
behind his
yeah.
clock. There's no way she'd search behind there.
There's
Oh,
no
yeah.
way, right? I feel like she's going to absolutely search behind the clock.
It was uncomfortable having my room poked around, but the conversation was so benign that it was heartwarming. During that innocent conversation, Mion said something as though it was perfectly ordinary.
You know. Did you call the director? The what
Director?
The what?
The what now?
Hold on, yeah, where's my reaction? I need that reaction image that I have. Give me a second. I think you know which one I'm referring to, but man, I wish we could edit these down into like YouTube videos so we can put my like reaction images in there, but oh well.
You're fine.
As is. Where the fuck is it? It's around here somewhere. I know it's near the top of my reaction images folder. There, wait, no. Almost. Where are you, white woman?
White woman.
Cable. Okay.
It's a white woman.
Oh yeah, this is like originally an ad for like a vacuum or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh.
If I can find it.
Oh yeah.
If I can find it.
I know what you're referring to.
Yeah.
Where
same.
is it? Oh, my eyes always scan over it entirely. Like I just missed it like 5 times.
Oh damn.
The what? I said that in Reina's voice. Yep.
Did you call the director? The what?
The what? Yep, right after I called Michan. He said he'd be right over.
Director? That out of place word gave me a bad feeling.
Yeah.
Reina called a doctor, then called Mion, and after that she called a director?
I don't think she called a proper doctor.
Who is this director? Since Reina and Mion's conversation was so peaceful, it only felt slightly odd.
I think she lied.
What are you two talking about? Who's this director?
Ooh, that? Or the director and the doctor are the same person.
Yeah, same, yeah. How did you know, Kei-chan? I love how bright green her hair is.
Yeah.
It's aggressively neon, well not neon, but aggressively green.
Yeah.
It's like leaf
We
green.
need the director when we say director.
Like the director of a movie.
Um,
Or like a foreman of a construction site.
I am concerned.
I dug through all my memories for a director who might have business with me. Only one thing came to mind.
You're so stupid.
What Reina just said. The construction site foreman. The very first victim of the first incident. The dismemberment of the dam construction site. The foreman? But that was strange. He was supposed to be dead.
But they never found his arm.
There was no way they could call him.
Wait, what did you just say again, Kath?
They never found his arm. He was dismembered, cut into 5 pieces, but they only found 4 of those pieces. They never found his arm.
Ah. What if he technically never left?
Ooh, yeah.
That's something I've also been thinking about. Because when I was like, maybe when she says mercy kill, what if to stop people from transferring out, you keep their spirit here, essentially?
Ooh.
I mean, if they didn't find one part of him, I feel like it makes sense in terms of like the way Japanese spirit mythology works. Is that like,
yeah.
you know, they don't have all of the right parts. His spirit is, they don't have all of the parts to officially bury. His spirit is still lingering around. This is speculation.
I don't understand what you guys are talking about. What does that director have to do with me? You said he was coming. Did you mean to my house? That's one obvious question after another. But all the two of them did was smile coolly at each other. There was a huge difference between how the two of them appeared and how my suspicions were playing out. Slowly, I felt discomfort and panic welling up inside me. I couldn't understand what Rain and Mion were talking about.
Haha, you're going to die. Sorry.
Hey, John, you got into baseball lately, haven't you? Pretty sure the director will be happy to hear that.
So, who is this director?
The director is the director.
Why do I feel like it's going to get super fucking
Yes, the
meta and
floor
have,
here is
like,
made out of floor.
The floor.
Also, like, I feel like the game is gonna get super meta and have, like, the actual IRL director of the game come in and start fucking shit up.
Ooh, that's interesting. But also, hold on, I need you to say,
Yes, this floor here is made of floor.
So, who is this director? Rain and Mion looked at each other and laughed haughtily.
unfortunately, your microphone cut out, Kath.
No, that's fine. I think I stopped laughing before you did anyways.
The disturbing cackle unpleasantly resounded around me. That laugh, long enough to be unsettling, ended abruptly.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. We should finish up before the director comes.
Oh, shit!
You remember, don't you, Kei-chan?
Her face was laughing, but Mion's eyes told a different story. Remember what?
Keiichi-kun, had he forgotten, I wonder? About the penalty. About the penalty. Did you really forget? The homework with the mochi?
oh, Jesus Christ! The callback! Sorry. I'm panicking. This game really knows how to build tension.
Yeah, and then, like, the way everything was fine and normal was a really good tension reliever. Now it can ratchet shit up again.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we've talked about this multiple times, how it's both a tension reliever but only serves to heighten your paranoia. Gaslighting!
Yay.
The homework.
Fuck, am I so
There we-
tired? It's like 9 p.m.
Oh no. Oh yeah, what time is it?
Well, it's 9
8 o'clock.
EST.
Yeah,
Sure.
we're getting very close to the end.
Yeah.
Okay, good,
Oh
good,
yeah, I'm just, like, saying it out loud because, like, I know I normally go to bed around this time, but, like, why am I tired?
I get
good.
you.
That's fair.
Did you really forget? The homework with the mochi? The homework where you were supposed to guess which one Reina made? You forgot about that homework, didn't you?
I certainly did have that homework. But I had thrown away the rest of the mochi after I found that sewing needle. So I wasn't able to answer which one Reina made. The penalty for that? Why now? No doubt my question was written all over my face. Their answer to my question was that dry laughter. I could no longer make heads or tails of anything. I began to think this entire day was somehow insane. Strange. Incomprehensible. Being chased by Reina. Attacked by strange men. The penalty Mion and Reina were talking about. What were these two laughing at? Didn't take that long for me to realize I should have been dragged into an abnormal situation. Who were these two? Who were these people? Who are these doppelgangers of Reina and Mion? Reina got in behind me at some point. Why was she pinning my arms behind my back? What are you doing?
Uh-oh. 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 Oh, shit. Fuck. This is bad. I'm panicking. I mean, Keiichi's also panicking. Everyone is panicking except these two. Don't move. This is your penalty.
My body was already very sluggish. Reina pinning my arms made it that much harder to move. Seriously tried to struggle, but she wouldn't even budge. My panic began to well up, and I realized this was well beyond the realm of jokes and pleasantries. This freakishly monstrous strength would have been impossible for the Reina that I knew. Then these thin, frail arms grasped me firmly. Whose arms were they?
Hey, John, no struggling. Bubble number. It doesn't matter which one. You can't fight against the penalty.
Mion. No, that thing that looked like Mion spoke to me like how Mion would speak to me. But I was certain that this was not Mion. Someone who wasn't Mion. Someone who was just pretending to be Mion.
Need to finish this up before the director comes.
Mion fished into her pockets and pulled out something bizarre. I could tell what it was just by looking, but for such a thing to be in her pocket, my mind wouldn't accept it.
A gun. No.
What
No.
is that? It was a small syringe.
Huh?
It was a small, clear syringe. The kind a doctor might use if you went to them with a high fever. Rena held me even tighter. I could hear that clattering laughter that no longer sounded like laughter blaring into my ear. That eerie laughter. Wasn't something that the Rena I knew could ever produce from her own throat. This thing that was pretending to be Rena. Was this the real laugh? Unable to defend myself, the syringe Mion was holding drew closer. And that needle tip was waved in front of my face countless times.
Don't worry, don't worry. It won't hurt. She's repeating herself.
Yeah.
Like, you see only Raina that had the habit of, like, repeating herself.
I've noticed
but now
that,
Mia's
too.
doing that too. And that's not normal for her.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
It won't hurt. It won't hurt.
What are you planning on doing? What kind of sick joke is this?
What are you saying, K-Chan? You know exactly what's going on, don't you?
About what? I don't understand any of this at all!
I know you know. Though you've played the fool this late in the game.
Stop talking nonsense to try and confuse me!
Oh, fuck me. Holy shit.
You have to sell this.
You're going to have done to you what happened to Tomitake-san.
Get out of my ears! But also, that's good.
No.
But also, I can hear you a lot better when you're closer to your microphone.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's called I'm holding my microphone directly in front of my face.
What? What? The same as Tomitake-san? Didn't really understand what she meant. What did it have to do with this syringe?
You're gonna die,
He was
bestie.
drugged.
I mean, I get it. You're in a state of panic, and any brain tries to deny the fact that they're about to die most of the time. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I've never been in a situation where I'm going to die. You're playing dumb, Keiichi-kun. You should have realized it by now.
Oh, Mio stopped smiling.
Oh, that's whoops.
Rena whispered into my ear, laughing as if to admonish me. But even
Sorry, I couldn't read the script that I can't read.
No, you're fine.
No, I'm joking.
But even the way
It's just funny.
she spoke was repulsive beyond compare. Playing dumb? Me? About what? What do you mean, the same as Tomitake-san?
Bestie.
Everyone thought at first that it was a hit and run.
No!
Yeah. It's so
What?
fucked.
He was involved!
Except when the officer got close to check if he was still alive. He soon noticed it wasn't a normal situation. His throat was scratched out. Right, yeah, he clawed his own throat out and he was drugged. It also
Oh, wait a minute. This is a different conversation. I'm so sorry.
You're fine. It was fun seeing your panic in that moment.
Shut up!
From a knife or something?
I might be stupid. The last time they had a, like, you know, the black background. But,
You're fine.
I mean, the brown one, brown, yeah, brown.
Yeah. Nails.
Nails? Nails as in fingernails? With those gouged through? That's right. Tomitake-san had clawed out his own throat with his own nails and died. There's no way someone could die like that. So then, for that to happen...
We thought drugs were to blame, but nothing of that nature was detected. I thought he said he was drugged.
That's right. The police didn't find any drugs in Tomitake-san's system. The police told me they didn't find any drugs in Tomitake-san's body. The two of them laughed together with that sickening laughter. Of course they'd laugh. To assume that such a medicine didn't exist just because the police didn't know about it was completely foolish. Meaning, the drug that caused Tomitake-san to die in such a bizarre manner did exist? If Mion injected this into me, that would probably be all the proof I needed. That would basically mean I'd end up the same as Tomitake-san. Become hysterical, scratching out my throat in my last moments, then die. Such an outrageous drug to exist. For Mion to be holding it. That I was about to be injected with it. That moment I did not feel there was any need whatsoever to question it. What kind of...
Didn't you say that, like, her sister works at, like, the pharmacy in town or something like that?
No, she works somewhere else.
Yeah, she works somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
What kind of idiot, when she's trying to dodge a ball flying straight to his face, is trying to think of a reason as to why it's flying at him?
Just give up? Alright, then.
Mion's actions lacked any gravitas. That made it even more terrifying. There's none of the ceremony like when someone is sentenced to death. There's no hesitation at all, as if she were brushing her teeth. Mion reached out with one hand and grabbed onto my chest. Felt like electricity had run through the back of my head and the entire world had gone dark. Did I stand up too fast? Or did someone hit me really hard in the back of the head? Having lost my sense of balance, I was assaulted by a wave of dizziness.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
What?
Bro just got injected.
Oh. Oh, shit.
I squatted down for a bit. When I came back to my senses, my entire room had changed drastically. The numbness in my head was gone, and slowly, I could tell blood was flowing to my extremities again. How long had I been squatting here? How many minutes? Or has it been hours? It was almost as if the hands on the clock had stopped moving the entire time my eyes were closed. That's how little time passed. Really? The air in the room wasn't filled with that madness from before. Only a dull silence. Reina wasn't there pinning my arms, and Mion wasn't there about to inject me with a needle. No way. Could it be? All of it was a hallucination?
What the fuck is going on?
There was no other presence in the room besides my own. It was the weirdest experience I'd ever had. I was certainly with Rain and Mion. I doubted my sanity for a moment, but I was also seized with some sort of comfort. I guess that terrible ordeal was a hallucination. Neither Reina nor Mion. They would never do something so terrible. My head grew hot. I could tell my emotions were welling up.
Uh-oh.
Why? That wasn't a reason to cry.
What?
Why?
Hey, what's... Hey, wait a minute, what's the title of the game? Hey, wait a minute. Hey, what's the title of the game?
It's just Higurashi no Naku Koro ni, when the cicadas cry.
Yeah, hey, wait a minute.
It was sorrow. Why was I sad? I don't understand. I don't understand. Kind to everyone. Not discriminating against age or gender. Mion. that Mion was sprawled by the window in an unnatural pose.
Huh?
Blood stained her a deep red from her head down to her chest. The bright crimson smeared on the walls. That splatter had undoubtedly come from Mion. She always had that bright smile and was kind to me from the day I transferred. Reina. That same Reina was slumped at my feet, was making the same pool of blood as Mion.
Oh, I think he's hallucinating.
I couldn't...
What?
Huh?
I think he is hallucinating his friends being dead here.
I couldn't
Because it would have to be something so bad to make him, like, want to die, is the thing.
Oh.
I couldn't comprehend what had happened. Did someone come to save me? Then they beat these two down with this metal bat? I finally noticed the weight in my right hand. How long had it been there? It was Satoshi's metal bat. It was covered in a deep red. There was no doubt this was the weapon used to mutilate both of them. And I was holding that weapon. I was the only person in the house. What? Looking at this objectively, I couldn't think of anyone other than myself who could have done it. I did this? That's right, Keiichi Maibara. Of course I did it. I told myself gently, as if coaxing myself. Hey, me. There's no reason for you to remember it, nor is there a need to regret it. Eat or be eaten. You get that, don't you? But the blood! There's so much! Neither Reina nor Mion had moved an inch. It wasn't just a split forehead and a trickle of blood, nothing that simple. The entire room was splattered with red. That told me it didn't end with just 2 or 3 strikes. Are they dead? Both of them? The depths of my mind were calm, but on the surface, I was panicking and agitated. Calm down, Keiichi Maibara. What happened to your usual calm self?
Squint.
Come on now. Do like you always do. Throw your head back and take a deep breath. Come on. Once. Twice. Breathe deeply. Calm
I
down.
think that's either Reina or Mion talking to him right now.
Maybe.
Calm down.
No.
I chanted that over and over in my head, and relaxed. Color came back to my vision, smells reinfused the air. At the same time, I remembered what happened when I blacked out. Rin and Mion had attacked me. They were about to inject me with whatever caused the same symptoms as Tomitake-san. But right before that happened, I fought back. I twisted my whole body and threw Rain as she was pinning my arms. Then I followed through with my spin and rammed my foot as hard as I could into Mion's torso. It was soft. Rina tried jumping on me, so I tackled her as hard as I could and slammed her against the wall. Didn't let that brief moment having them off balance slip by. Satoshi's bat that was left carelessly by the side of my desk.
No, I still think I was...
At that moment, everything went pitch black. There was nothing recorded past this point of the videotape in my mind. No, that wasn't right. It wasn't there was nothing recorded. It was recorded just fine. Just the other me inside myself had told me not to look and had turned off the TV. Just because the screen gone black and I couldn't see it didn't mean that the videotape within me hadn't recorded it. The TV was just off. The video was still playing. The tape within me, creaking along, still playing. On the other end of that pitch black screen, that horrifying video was still playing on. Compared to this, though, the scene right before my eyes, was still so difficult to take in. There was blood splattered everywhere on the walls, the two of them in these unnatural poses. Not a sign of movement from them. I couldn't even tell if they were breathing. No matter what the circumstances were, my friends, these girls, I had attacked them. I may have even killed them. But if I hadn't done this, I would have been the one done for. Bouncing out an imaginary scale, it felt odd that I even feel bad about it. Even if it was a bit excessive, this was justifiable self-defense. The proof was all here. Two of them collapsed here in Mion's syringe. Mion's syringe filled with some unknown drug would certainly solve the mystery surrounding the incident with Tomitake-san. The fact that both of these two were involved, they were able to pick out the criminals one after the other. Still, it might be suspected for this, but that was just fine. Anyway, now this should be a police affair. This wouldn't fade to the darkness like Reina's past incidents. As long as the police were involved, that should bring this to a close. They'll probably revisit their investigation on the chain of incidents. Oishi-san would definitely get to the bottom of it. Meaning, my wish of not wanting to die, of wanting to know the truth, that would be fulfilled in its most basic form. It was all a matter of time now. The Dr. Reina called should be getting here soon. I'll confess everything to him. I needed to contact Oishi-san.
Bink, bink.
At that moment, I remembered. Besides the doctor, a director had been called. It was easy to imagine they were someone deeply involved with the incidents, judging from Rain and Mion's conversation. The ache in my chest, caused by the gruesome deed I'd done, dissipated rapidly. It was not over yet. This place was no longer safe. Stay calm, Keiichi Maibara. It's not over yet. I need to live long enough to tell the police of this incident. At that moment, I felt like I heard someone's voice from outside. Since people were speaking, it must mean there was more than one person. I moved the curtain ever so slightly and peered outside. It was a bizarre sight. About 4 or 5 grown men were all gathered at the gate. They very much resembled the 2 men who assaulted me at the dam site today. Those 2 might even be among them. There was one person there wearing a white coat. They didn't look like a doctor at all. My gut told me he was in disguise, only posing as a doctor. That guy would probably ring the bell and get me to open the front door. Pretend to be a doctor to get me to open the door, and then the rest of them would all rush in at once. At that moment, I saw the car parked behind the men and my heart nearly skipped a beat. The white van!
Uh-oh.
No mistaking it. That van! The one that tried to run me down? The man in the white coat entered the gate and headed towards the front door. The rest of the men hid in the bushes and watched him. I probably couldn't pretend that I wasn't home. Undoubtedly, they just break the window and enter. Need to get out of here somehow. Then, use a public phone to contact Oishi-san. Then meet up somewhere. First of all, I need a weapon. Then shoes. But before all that, there's one thing that I had to do. I had no intention of dying. I'd live. Reveal the truth about this nonsensical curse of a Yashiro-sama. But what would happen from here on, regardless of how determined I was, may bring about my demise. And that was why. There was one thing more important than getting out of here right now. I need to get that clock out quickly and take down the note hidden behind it. Damn it! The tape was sticking to it fast. It'd be fun if it was torn a little. I opened up the slightly torn note and began writing another passage with a ballpoint pen. If I wasn't able to inform Oishi-san, then the only thing I could rely on was this note. I never thought a piece of torn college-ruled notebook paper could be this reliable before. I had no time. I'd only write what I knew right now. I need to leave some sort of information that would lead them to uncover the truth. Reina and Mion are conspirators of the perpetrators. This was an undeniable fact. I still didn't want to believe it, but it was a fact. Anyway, leave all the information that would help lead them to finding the perpetrators. There are 4 or 5 adults, maybe more. They have a white van. This was everything I was able to see from the window. There may be more. Also, there was that unidentified person known as the director. To begin with, the term director didn't even mesh with Hinamizawa at all. If they were going to include the directors from the past incidents, and the only one in the construction foreman, the victim from the first murder. The very first victim in the chain of incidents. Killed in a lynching, his body divided into 6 pieces. His right arm was never discovered. The police should have confirmed that death. But Rain and Beyond did both call him director. They said director. They wouldn't use that term to refer to someone else who was dead. The police would never even conceive that someone who was deceased could be involved. Could that be some sort of oversight? I didn't know. But even if I didn't know, it could be a big hint for Oishi-san. That's right. They need to start fresh from the first incident. It wasn't just a simple dismemberment, but the start of the string of mysterious deaths that would follow. So then, there must be something hidden there. Please reinvestigate the victim from the dismemberment case. He's alive. His death should have been established after an autopsy. Logically, you would think as much. But was that really the case? Could it have been some sort of ploy that they were able to deceive the police with? I shouldn't jump to conclusions, but he may still be alive. I had no time to ponder that right now. Oh yeah, there's something even more important that I need to write. Tomitake-san's death was from an unknown drug. That's right. That drug is an irreplaceable piece of evidence. No doubt, just by having this, everything would be uncovered. Couldn't just leave that vital clue lying on the floor. This syringe is proof. Writing that down, I stuck the syringe onto the back of the clock with plenty of tape, so it absolutely would not slip out and fall to the floor. Firmly. Firmly! The bell rang. They were here! I couldn't write anymore. But even still, there was one last thing I had to write. I have no idea why he's become like this. This may be the closest thing to the truth out of everything I wrote on this note. If you're reading this, then I'm probably already dead. Though you may or may not find my body. If I was going to write out everything that could happen, either dying from the curse or being demoned away, you who are reading this, please uncover the truth. That is my only desire. With this, my last will and testament was complete. It wasn't certain that I was going to die, but it was my final plea, just in case. I folded the note, stuck it back onto the back of the clock, returned the clock back to its usual spot. I couldn't help but pray. Oishi-san, something happens to me. I leave the rest to you. After that, I gazed down silently at Reina and Mion. This was probably the last time we'd ever see each other. Reina, Mion, I really had thought all of us were friends. But why did it end up like this? I never had any fun in my previous school. Only worried about standardized test scores. But at the school I hoped to get into was where I really wanted to go, or a safety net. That was all I talked about. It was a dull life. The people I called friends were also my rivals in studying, competitions and personal records and standardized test scores. Everyone here taught me how unhealthy that lifestyle was. This month was really fun. Making a fuss over lunch, making a fuss over the club, making a fuss over the festival. Something hot began dripping from my face. Uncontrollable. Tears. Should have had no obligation to shed tears for them. But they wouldn't stop. If they were after my life, if they were trying to kill me, everything that happened this month, I wouldn't forget it. Or could it be those happy days were all a facade as well? Was it all a trap, meticulously orchestrated up until today, to ensnare me? Could it have been that I had just arbitrarily assumed that they were my friends? That couldn't have been the case. Both Rain and Mion, they really were my friends. Those happy days, there's nothing fake or unclear about them. Someone probably forced them to try to kill me. Or their minds were taken over, possessed by that supernatural entity known as Oyashiro-sama. Regardless, both Rain and Mion, they were the best friends ever. And when they were coming after me, it wasn't of their own volition, but they They weren't the kind of people to sell off their friends, no matter what means were employed to force them. There was no way that such a thing as being possessed by Higurashi-sama could happen in reality. Then, did the real Rin and Mion come after me? What was I thinking? What a silly, dumb idea. I'd beaten down both Rin and Mion. I was still debating if they were the real ones or fakes. There was no real or fake. Only the reality that was before me. Rin and Mion were sprawled out at my feet. That was the only truth. I was only trying to twist the facts to my benefit. That I'd beaten my friends to death. No matter how I spun it, it wouldn't change reality. Rin and Mion were both dead. I felt like there was a crack in the dam of the strange emotions I was holding back. I felt like my calm state was nothing more than a bluff had receded, and in that opening, insanity was leaking out. I killed them. I killed them. Rin and Mion. I killed them! The doorbell rang again. The unrelenting echo pulled me back into a state of composure once again. I didn't have a moment to spare. Quickly. I needed to get away. Didn't want to die. I would uncover everything after that. The identity of whoever or whatever had pushed me this far. Even if I had to drink mud and eat grass, I would survive. I would survive. I would definitely survive! I killed Reina for that very reason. I also killed Mion. I went that far just to keep living. So I can't die. For my sake, for the sake of the late Reina and Mion. I have to survive! I ran towards the door and grabbed my shoes. The doorbell rang again as if to urge me on. Behind the single solitary door, they were there. Keeping quiet, I headed towards the kitchen, headed towards the back door. Before opening the back door, I put my ear to it and checked for people outside. No one. After I put on my shoes, I opened the door slowly as to not make a sound. There he is! The back door! A piercing voice echoed out. That voice stabbed through me, setting my hair on end. I had to run! Get out of here, Keiichi! One after the other, felt stuff like rationale and intelligence, those things you use when you have time to spare, spill out of me. Didn't feel any pain from the branches scratching my arms and forehead. My autonomously pulsing heart also felt neither fatigue nor pain. My entire being just wished to live. There was nothing else it desired. Probably had no complaints whatsoever. So of course I wouldn't feel fatigue. I just ran. Just recklessly rushing in the direction I was already heading. If nobody was chasing after me, I'd still be running like this. There wasn't a thought in my mind about where I was headed. Turning around, I felt a presence right next to me. That presence was without a doubt chasing me like a shadow. If I took even one misstep, I would be devoured. That's what I thought. So I didn't turn around. I didn't stop. I ran. At full speed. That was the chirping of the Higurashi telling me it was evening. Trying to tell me something. And then, I finally heard it. The wailing cry of the victims who didn't make it. Would I be joining them? Only the Higurashi knew. They knew everything. They definitely knew. So, I ran towards where I could hear more of the Higurashi's chirps. But the farther I ran, the farther away their chirping became. I couldn't get near them. Why are you all running away? Was it my fault? Was I the one to blame? Then I'll apologize! I'm sorry. 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 I felt that only the Higurashi knew.
Phenomenal fucking acting in that scenes. Holy shit.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
The smoking room was filled with a cloud of cigarette smoke. The expensive smoke filter gave off some crackling electric noise, but it didn't seem like it was doing anything at all. Why do smokers have to be shoved so far down this corridor where the sun didn't even reach? I recalled hearing that the tax revenue from tobacco was about 1/10 of the municipality's revenue. Gosh, I can't speak right now. We were the most heavily taxed members of this municipality, so I really wish they'd show us a little more respect. Why would you discard the 5 Manzu there? It's just decreasing your options. One of the younger detectives was having a staring contest with a mahjong magazine called Next Turn. Still in Tenpai if you cut the 5 Manzu. If you're betting on a Haite, then shouldn't you be going into it with a Mangan?
Kuma-chan, look at the pond. They all discarded a 5 Manzu. It's a safe tile. You'd hate if, at endgame, someone was sitting on a 10 pie on the last turn, wouldn't you?
The kid let out another groan, put out his cigarette, then took out another one. I just don't agree. Why would you reduce your own options?
By the way, you can't call Ron with your winning tile on that high tay.
What? Why is that? Just then, I heard a voice coming down from the hall. Are you here, Oishi-san? You have a call from a civilian.
Whoa, ain't that something? Well, see you soon.
Why can't you call Ron on it? Hold on a second, Oishi-san! The man sitting in the seat Oishi-san was heading towards waved at the telephone receiver. Outside line. From a payphone.
Why, thank you. Sorry to keep you waiting. This is Oishi. Who is it?
Oishi-san! Hello?
If it isn't Maebara-san.
Hey, I just committed murder!
Why, good evening.
From the tone in my Barakun's voice.
Oh.
Oh, I guess you're narrating now, Kath.
Oh, okay.
I had a feeling, because I'm like,
Yeah,
is this
yeah.
Oishi?
From the tone of Maebara-kun's voice, I already knew he was in a predicament. This was the first time Maebara-kun had phoned me. And he was calling from a payphone.
Oh shit, he got out.
Please calm down. Did something happen?
Boy howdy!
Well?
That a loaded question!
Well? Ah!
His voice was erratic over the line. He had completely lost his sense of composure. After checking that nobody else could hear, I prompted him in a hushed tone. What happened?
I...
Calm down, Maebara-san. I can have the local officers head to your location. I'll be there soon, too.
I think that's impossible.
His voice was quivering and hoarse. He wasn't surrounded by people even as he was making his calls, was he?
Wait a minute, what do you... Like, huh? He says that like he knows.
Maebara-san, you're calling from a payphone right now, right? Where is that payphone? There were no other sounds besides Maebara-kun's voice. It had to be a phone booth. I scratched out a note and thrust it at my colleague sitting across from me. Hinamizawa, phone booth.
Oh yeah, he's like he's surrounded like rabid zombies right now.
He understood quickly and hastily started on the internal lines. Calm down, Maebara-san. What is your current situation? It was best practice to avoid flustering someone panicking, but this was an urgent case. Nabara-kun didn't just get in trouble anyway and then call me. He was in the midst of something dangerous right now. But yelling at Nabara-kun right now would just needlessly cause him to be even more frantic. Nabara-kun wasn't just calling to seek help. He was trying to tell us something more than that. And whatever that was, if I didn't get it from this call, I was certain there would never be another chance. My colleague pushed a note in front of me. There's only one booth in Hinamizawa. A patrol car is on the way. 5 minutes. That's too long. How many officers are in there?
2.
Who wants to play the other detective?
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
No, you're good. Not enough. If it was as I imagined, there were likely quite a few people surrounding Nabara-kun.
Hey, what do you mean?
Do you remember?
What do you mean by that?
Do you remember the men that were like outside the house?
Yeah.
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 But, like, you said if this was as I imagined, I'm confused.
Oh. He might have suspicions already then.
Yeah.
5 minutes was too long. Shit, damn it. Did you call the officer stationed in Hinamizawa?
He's scheduled to be on patrol. They're currently out and it'll be impossible to contact them.
Out, huh?
Oh yeah, because they don't have cell phones yet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
God damn. Kuma-chan, bring the car around.
Understood. Hello? Oishi-san?
Oh, fuck.
Hello. It's all right. I can hear you loud and clear. There was something wrong with Nabara-kun. Yeah, no shit. That wasn't a normal coughing sound.
Fuck.
Vomiting? Or was it blood?
Uh-oh.
Had he already been attacked? Was he injured? Nabara-san, the police are on their way. They'll be there in a couple of minutes, so hold on somehow. Hello? Can you hear me?
Oh, I think he's
Nabara-san?
dead.
I could hear on the other end of the line that he was having a coughing fit.
Oh, shit.
The worst possible situation popped into my head. Nabara-san, who is the culprit? How many are there?
I thought at first the culprit was human.
I couldn't tell if that was a cough or not.
Oh.
Are you alright, Nabara-san?
I thought that the culprit was a person and not Yashiro-sama's curse. Up until right now. But I guess in the end...
It was an intense bout of coughing. Then vomiting.
But I guess Yashiro-sama does exist. No, he's here.
Nabara-san, just please calm down.
A bestie.
I have been thinking it was strange for a while now. It's been following me this whole time. I run and run and run and run, but it just sticks to me like my shadow. But slowly, so slowly, it's digging itself into my back.
That's sad. Are they right now, perhaps, right behind you?
Behind me. Right behind me.
Hey, that's what Reina said.
Wow.
Or was it Mion?
It was Reina.
Okay, thank you.
Please. Oh, I can tell you're scared. But please. Who is it that's right behind you?
I can't just look behind me. If I do, I'll...
I understand that you're scared. please tell me. You just need to turn around. Who is it? Who's behind you, Mirasan? Right after I said that, I could hear him vomiting intensely. What followed was a nightmarish sound. Mibara-san, it couldn't be that you're... Oh, I hate that.
That's what I thought. That's what I was thinking.
Flying out your own throat. There was no answer. But I could hear something like scratching. There was a bang as if something was being hit. Hibara-kun had probably dropped the receiver. I could hear groaning and vomiting over the other end and a repeating abnormal noise. Hello? Hello? Hibara-san? Hello?
She's dying.
I knew how far away my voice would sound on the other end. But I couldn't help but shout. At that moment, I heard whispering coming from the other end.
Oh shit.
I couldn't tell what he was saying. From the way he was saying it, was he talking to himself? Or was he talking to someone there? Hello? Hibara-san? Rather than whispering, oh no, he said that over and over again, isn't he? Rather than whispering, it was some kind of mantra he was chanting over and over. I focused my senses, trying to pick up what he was saying. What was he repeating? What exactly? Beep. Suddenly, the line went dead. Did he use up his time? It was because it was a payphone. Ah. It was because it cut out so abruptly. The last thing he said came out so clearly in my mind.
Uishi-san! The car's good to go! Uishi-san?
It was, I'm sorry.
Uishi-san?
That's what he was repeating over and over. He said, I'm sorry. I had a gut feeling. There was no longer need to hurry. I could hear the chirp of the Higurashi spilling in from the open window. I should have been able to hear them this entire time. I just wasn't paying any attention. Why did I focus on them all of a sudden? Were they trying to tell me something? Only the Higurashi knew. That's how I felt.
June 1983. In Hinamizawa, a remote village near Shishibone City, there was a murder involving 2 female students. The suspect is Keiichi Maibara, aged X-teen. The suspect called over his 2 female classmates, Rina Ryuko, Mion Sonozaki, to his house and beat them to death with a metal bat.
That's not what happened.
The scene of the crime was the suspect's room on the 2nd floor of his house. The inside of the room was covered with a significant quantity of splattered blood, and there were signs of a struggle with the victims. In addition to the scene of the crime, the entryway, living room, and kitchen all had traces of a struggle. At the entryway, the shoe rack and wall had evidence of being impacted by strong blunt force. It is believed to have been the same bat as the murder weapon. Having no traces of blood, it is believed the destruction occurred before the murders. There is the possibility that the suspect overpowered his victims to keep them from fleeing. In the living room, the rug had been pulled back, then thrown aside. It is hard to believe that this had a connection to the struggle with the victims, and thus the reason for this remains unknown.
Oh.
In the kitchen, the garbage bag was torn apart, and its contents were spread out on the floor. Garbage was thrown about in the surrounding area, and handprints believed to belong to the suspect were discovered. It is believed the suspect had for some reason taken out the garbage and struck it with his fists. The reason for this remains unknown. In addition, there was a note stuck to the fridge. The words, "Was there a needle?" were written on it. The meaning behind this remains unclear. Just in case, the garbage was searched, but a needle was not discovered.
Oh.
Though the garbage door was functional, it had been left open ever since the suspect moved in. The garage door was found closed. The suspect's fingerprints were discovered on the garage door. The reason behind this remains unknown.
Because it was his house?
The suspect fled the scene of the crime. However, a patrolling officer, Hinamizawa Local PD, found the suspect collapsed inside a phone booth. At the time of discovery, the suspect was unconscious in critical condition. He was rushed to the local hospital for treatment, but did not regain consciousness and died 24 hours later.
Shit.
The results of the autopsy indicate the immediate cause of death to have been hypovolemic shock. It was determined that the suspect had clawed at his own throat with his fingernails. The resulting bleeding caused his death. With a similarity to the death of Tomitake-san the prior week, the police believe that there is to be a connection and have opened an investigation. However, due to the wishes of the local authorities, it will be a confidential investigation.
Fucking course.
Due to the abnormal nature of the death, it was suspected that drugs were involved, but as with Tomitake-san, no traces were discovered. What prompted all this remains inexplicable. As such, this case is being treated as an act committed on impulse. However, with several accounts of the suspect's bizarre behavior leading up to the incident, it is possible that this was premeditated. Separated from his group of friends, isolation, inexplicable behavior. Several days before the incident, the suspect began carrying around a metal bat. The suspect was observed displaying aggressive behavior as well as talking to himself at school. His classmates have actually heard portions of what he was saying. 2 days before the incident, the suspect declared to his parents the possibility of his death. Due to these circumstances, the police have begun an investigation on the possibility that this crime was not committed on impulse, but was instead planned several days in advance. Afterwards, a note was found in the suspect's room that he had written himself. The note was written on 2 sheets from a B5 college ruled notebook that had been torn in half, and as if trying to conceal it, was struck hidden behind a clock on the wall. The contents are as written in the appendix. The police believe it to be strongly related to the incident. The police changed their line of investigation based on the possibility that the suspect was involved in some sort of incident himself. However, no further clues were found, casting doubt on the credibility of the note. Was the crime impulsive or premeditated? With the situation unclear and no further developments, the case has been labeled as unresolved. However, the following year, suspicion arose regarding the nature of the note. The note was not written on 2 halves of B5 paper from 2 separate sheets, but was originally a single sheet of B5 paper. In order to erase several lines from the middle, someone had torn them out. Judging from the size of the letters, the missing section is estimated to be 2 to 3 lines. It is highly probable that the person who eliminated the lines in question is not the suspect. In addition, judging from traces of large quantities of cellophane tape being stuck to the back of the clock, speculation that something other than the note was stuck there has arisen.
Son of a bitch!
The person who first discovered the crime was a detective rumored to have a connection with the incident, Kuraodo Oishi. He underwent voluntary questioning but denies involvement in any damages to the note. The suspect's note. I, Keiichi Maibara, am in fear for my life. I do not know why they are after my life. The only thing I do know is that it has to do with Higurashi-sama's curse. Rain and Mion are conspirators of the perpetrators. There are 4 or 5 adults, maybe more. They have a white van. This is all on the first sheet. The section below this has been ripped out. This is from the second sheet. The section above this has been ripped out. I have no idea why it has become like this. If you're reading this, then I am probably already dead. Though you may or may not find my body. You who are reading this, please uncover the truth.
Oh,
That is
they
my-
ripped out the line saying that, like, saying how Rainer Mion died, and that, like, about the needle is the thing.
Yep.
Yep.
The syringe.
Oh, yeah.
Please uncover the truth. That is my only desire. Keiichi Maibara.
Shit.
And that's the end of book 1.
God damn it.
Well, now I need to keep playing to find out what happens next, because what in the actual fuck is this game?
That is a very good question. Considering the fact that there are 8 books to this series, what do you possibly think the second book could be?
Who the fuck knows?
Well, hopefully, Reina, Mion, and Keiichi don't fucking stay dead, because I like those characters.
You know, yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? Who fucking knows at this point?
Yeah, like, at this point, anything could happen. It's, like, legitimately curveball after curveball.
Yeah.
But, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck?
So, yeah, what'd you guys think?
Yeah, I think what the fuck sums up my feelings pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, I apologize if I sound pretty quiet right now.
you're fine.
I am lying down because I'm getting eepy.
You're fine. So, I guess we're agreed that we're definitely continuing this ASAP.
Yeah, no, I need answers. What the fuck? Because, like, God, when you had that really good monologue scene, I was so goddamn convinced that the girls had already drugged Keiichi and he was hallucinating really badly. But, like, I guess they're dead now. I'm still calling bullshit on that because I don't like it. I think it's dumb. I want them to be alive. I like these characters. And then Keiichi just, like, blacking out and killing them in, like, self-defense and then going overboard doesn't seem right to me.
You'll see what happens. You'll see what book 2 is. Once you start book 2, the direction of this series will become very clear.
Interesting.
Is the
Interesting. Very
direction
interesting.
a mindfuck with every other chapter?
Kinda. Well, yeah, but like, okay, like, once you, like, within, like, I would say the first 5 minutes of book 2, you'll be like, oh, so this is how this is gonna, like, carry out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question. Do any of the other future books kill off any more important characters?
Yes.
Okay. So, like, are they killed off for, like, plot reasons, or, like, Mion and Reina, where it's just like, what the fuck, that's dumb, no?
I would say plot reasons, although it's complicated.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a mystery series after all. People have to die in order for us to try and solve a mystery.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not gonna say much about this, but Kath, in this next book, you're going to have a bigger chance to go crazy, go stupid.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. This was Kay's turn. Next book is Kath's turn.
Oh yeah, alright.
Squint.
Hopefully, that means Mion will be still alive.
You'll see what
Like,
happens.
I know her sister shows up in the later books, but, like...
Alright, well, let me go ahead and end the stream.
Okie dokie.